Can lightning strike for a third time? Scream 3 is once again directed by Wes Craven, but saw the departure of writer Kevin Williamson, who had to leave due to other writing complications, and in his replace was Aaron Kruger, who I must say had a very fitting name to be working with Wes Craven. Anyways, Aaron is best known for his work on the Transformers movies. I believe he wrote all the screenplays to the films, so you know how he is. Anyways, this movie stars Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette, all returning to reprise their respective roles. And in this film, we see Sydney and the gang being brought out to Hollywood after the death of Con Weary, as a new psychopath dons the ghost face costume and terrorizes the bunch. This film is considered by many to be the worst entry into the franchise, and though I do agree, I actually found myself enjoying the film for the most part, more so than I did the previous time I watched it. This film, though, is filled with a plethora of problems, and though it is mainly due to script writing problems they were having, with scenes only getting written a day prior to shooting, it doesn't ruin the movie completely. In this film, we pick up with Sydney, who is a lot more emotional. She is broken down and more vulnerable than we've seen her in previous films, and I actually quite enjoyed seeing that, as any character would be as damaged as her if they had went through the same shit she did. So the first problem I had with this film actually took place within the first 10 minutes of the film, and if you want to avoid any spoilers about this film, just tune me out for like the next 10 seconds. I'll give you the thumbs up when I'm done talking about it, so mute me now. The major problem I had was killing off Cotton Weary. I mean, why? It was totally unnecessary. I mean, Liev Schreiber never had a proper chance to shine in this series, and he was so great in Scream 2, and I wish I could have seen more of him in this film. Anyways, as with the other Scream movies, Scream 3 has to play by the rules of something, and this time around, it is of a trilogy, and that meant shoehorning in Randy somehow, and the final product felt lazy, and once again proved why Randy shouldn't have been killed in Scream 2. Anyways, one of the rules that is stated in this film is that nothing in the past is off limits, and that meant by bringing Maureen Prescott back into the light, which was Sydney's mom. And I felt like it was a huge notch against the film. It really did not work for me, and it felt lazy once again. It shouldn't have been the main plot focus in this film. Aside from the problems I had with this film, I did enjoy my time. Is it dumb and does it feel out of place after the other two movies? Yes, in a way, but it is Wes Craven who makes this film. With his return, he was able to create an engaging film that was nowhere near as good as it should have been. Just look at the writing process. It was total hell, and although the story wasn't the worst thing in the world, it felt sloppily put together and really could have used Kevin Williams' touch. Even if you just look at the ending to this film, though I won't spoil it, as those who have seen this film would know, Scream has a long-standing tradition to have a grand plot twist at the end, and this film decides to go for the Grand Master approach, which it's a term that I refer to as it's something that the later Saw movies would do, and that is having the reveal of the killer being the mastermind behind everything you've seen in other films, and that simply does not work in this film's favor at all, and quite frankly makes the other two predecessors, it makes them look like trash, and that's not great. Also, the very end to this film, I felt like it wrapped up a little too nicely. I understand that it was the closing to a trilogy, but it just didn't really work. It was very heavy-handed with the symbolism and honestly came off quite corny at times. Overall, I did enjoy my time with this film, and though I did focus mainly on the negatives in this review, it does have a few good things going for it, such as the acting. I mean, it was good as usual, and it was just awesome seeing the return of our heroes, as that does not happen too often in horror movies. Scream 3 just does not live up to the standards of the previous two. It features less memorable scenes and could have used a few script touch-ups. However, if you go into this film with an open mind, you might find some enjoyment in it, and that is thanks to Wes Craven's great direction. I mean, he turned something that could have been trash and made it pretty darn good. It just shows the master of filmmaking he had. Overall, this is not the worst horror sequel ever, and I probably would have scored it a much higher rating. However, due to its over-the-top ending, it just really bummed me out, and for that reason, Scream 3 gets a 5.5 out of 10. Alright guys, this has been your favorite critic 26 with yet another review. If you enjoyed this video, please smack the like button as always, share it to your friends, and subscribe for future videos. My next review will be up tomorrow, and that is of Scream 4, so definitely join me for that, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.